situation here in Telangana and our state of preparedness with respect to the elections forthcoming in the state of Telangana. So I'd request the nodal officer of Income Tax Department, who is in charge of the election related expenditure monitoring cell, which works under Election Commission of India. I'll request him to give a very brief presentation so that all of you can become familiar with our organization in Telangana as well as what we are planning to do for the election expenditure monitoring. Karthik.
Respected DG sir, respected Shruti madam, Additional Director from PIB, my dear colleagues and my dear friends from media. Good evening to one and all present here. I will quickly rush through the presentation regarding the income tax role in the expenditure monitoring as part of Telangana State Assembly elections. This is the organogram of our income tax wing of investigation wing of income tax, where our DGIT sir reports to member investigation, who is a member in CBDT, sits at Delhi, and under DGIT sir there are PDIT investigation Hyderabad and principal director investigation at Bhubaneswar, and there is principal commissioner central Hyderabad and principal commissioner central Visakhapatnam. So this is the overall organogram of the DGIT setup, under whom there will be units headed by the additional directors or joint directors, and in turn under whom there will be deputy directors or assistant directors in charge of the investigation. So this is a broad view of the structure of investigation wing. As we are all aware, 33 districts in Telangana state and 119 constituencies in Telangana state. So what is the role of income tax department in election expenditure monitoring? So our role is to gather intelligence and keep strict vigil over the movement of any cash or other valuable items in the state of Telangana and take necessary action as per income tax laws. And to form QRT, which is called quick response teams in every district, who will coordinate with the concerned DEO at that district, and also the police, FST and SST there. And to set up air intelligence units in all the airports. So as you all are aware, we have 2 airports in Telangana state as of now, one in Samshabad, another in Dagumpet airport, and to set up a 24/7 control room in the state capital, and wherever deemed fit, we will be taking action under section 132 and 132A. What is section 132 and section 132A? For the information of the press, section 132 colloquially we call raid. So under section 132 of Income Tax Act, it empowers income tax to do search and seizure and seize money, bullion, jewelry or other valuable article or thing found as a result of such action. And there is another section 132A, that is to make a requisition from other authorities. And this is precisely what is happening right now in the state of Telangana. Whenever police or FST seizes any cash or valuable items, that intimation or information will reach us. And under section 132A, if it is unaccounted or unexplained, we are authorized to seize that asset. So section 132A empowers income tax authorities to do requisition of any assets which represent either wholly or partly income or property which has not been disclosed to the income tax department. So as I told you, 24/7 control room and complaint monitoring cell already has been established in income tax department under the office of DGIT sir, to receive and disseminate information on real-time basis. So we have set up in this building 3rd floor. So it is already functioning last 12 days from the date of announcement, that is 9th October onwards. The control room will have a toll-free number as is indicated in the presentation in this slide, and also will be distributing in our press brief also. We have a landline number also, and we also have email ID, exclusive email ID, and this time we have added WhatsApp number also. So some people who wish to share any documents, information, anything, any picture or video through WhatsApp also, it can be shared. So at all districts of Telangana, 32 districts, we have deployed QRTs, quick response teams, which will be headed by district nodal officers. So I am being the nodal officer. There will be district nodal officer in all the districts. So they, along with our inspectors of income tax, will form a team, and they are already at respective district and monitoring the expenses related issues with regard to the elections. So we have requisition manpower from our field office also, Principal Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, and they have provided also, and in turn we have deployed those teams in respective districts. So there are deputy directors of income tax as part of the investigation wing. So they have been given the role of supervising those DNOs, so that with regard to any seizures or any other information or intelligence being received by them, they will be facilitating and guiding them, and in turn will be in discussion with our other IRFs. So the nodal officer, being a nodal officer, I have already conducted an orientation program for those district nodal officers and the officials, and also we have done some capacity building exercise also in September and October. Now with regard to AAU, Air Intelligence Units, we already have a AAU set up in Shamshabad Airport and Begumpet Airport. Now as part of election expenditure monitoring mechanism, they have been alerted, and there is a clear SOP as part of Election Commission of India guidelines. So as per the SOP, we have even written to all the 18 regions as part of the Income Tax Department, to other Director General of Income Tax Investigation Wing. So wherever there is a connectivity with Hyderabad Airport, like from Delhi or Chennai to Hyderabad, so those AUs also have been alerted. So with regard to any cash or other valuable items getting seized there, or getting monitored by the respective AAU team, will be alerted to us. So this is as part of the election process. We are on that action also. And then we are in coordination with BCA, Bureau of Civil Aviation, Airport Authority of India, in this regard. So we are also, through our QRTs and the FSTs and SSTs of the concerned districts, continuously monitoring the highways and railway networks. So wherever we get any intelligence and information based on that also, we are trying to quickly act on that. And there is something called Cash and Precious Metal Cohort, has been formed by Chief Electoral Officer of Telangana State. So this cohort comprises of some 8 to 9 agencies, which is mentioned there, including RBI, SLBC, Airport Authority of India, State Aviation Corporation, CISF, Postal Department, ED, FIU, DRA, and State Police. So we have had a meeting already of this cohort on 14th September, and the action plan has been drawn. And what is our role? Our major role is verification of any cash user information we receive. Already it started, we have started receiving so much information from the FSTs and police authorities, so that verification thing is going on. Further to that, we get information regarding cash withdrawals of more than 10 lakh from the banks through SLBC, that is called State Level Bankers Committee. And we also do verification and analysis of cash withdrawal and deposit data in coordination with Financial Intelligence Unit. And we do identification and verification of political parties which are taking donations and availing tax exemptions in the poll-bound state without filing the statutory return of income. This is as part of the Election Commission of India guidelines. And after the filing of nomination by the respective candidates, so from Income Tax Department, we have to verify those affidavits, okay, with regard to the assets and liabilities declared in those affidavit. Added to that, in-house intelligence and analysis through big data analytics, CDR, call data records, cyber forensics, legal intersection, insight portal, and human intelligence in appropriate cases are also in progress. Finally, this time Election Commission of India for the first time has introduced an app called ESMS, Election Seizure Management System. So this is already in place. FST and SST are started using this app, and we are also have onboarded along with our district nodal officers and myself as nodal officer. And continuously we are monitoring any seizure happens at the ground level. So by SST or FST, they upload the information in that app, which will quickly alert our team in the respective districts and quickly act on that verification process. So this helps us in quick communication and faster disposal of verification. So with regard to this ESMS, I just want to show how it looks like. This is part of Election Commission of India presentation only. So one has to get registered with their mobile number. So as a state nodal officer, CEO has registered my mobile number, and I in turn has to register all the district nodal officers and other officers whomsoever on board. After the registration only, whenever you feed the mobile number, you will get the OTP. So after getting the OTP, this will go inside with all dashboard and other information. So right now I am getting information of any intercept made by any FST in all the districts and action taken by my own officers at the respective districts. That's all from our side. Now I request DJ sir to take over the discussion.
Thank you, Karthik. With this presentation, I thought that you would all get a brief idea of where we stand in the process of election. As you are aware, the mandate we have received from Election Commission of India and the vision of Election Commission of India is to ensure free and fair elections. Where we come in is in trying to help the Honorable Commission to ensure that there is no use of money which is not in the knowledge of the Honorable Commission. As you know, funding of any kind which is above board is reported to Election Commission and they process it. But there are chances that various political entities might be utilizing money which is not out in the reports to the Election Commission. That is where the role of Income Tax Department comes in, because we are the specialized agency to unearth undisclosed income or to track undisclosed flow of money. Now, the process of election, although it is declared on a particular date and nominations are filed and then the campaigning goes on and it ends with the voting and then the counting, as you are well aware that the entire movement of fund very often takes place even prior to those dates. So one of the things which the Honorable Commission has mandated is that Income Tax Department through the Investigation Directorate also uses its own intelligence, which is in terms of human intelligence and in terms of digital intelligence, and identify the vulnerable areas, the vulnerable corridors, whether it is individual, whether it is corporate or any other source, where any kind of a suspicious transaction is flowing, and then to investigate as per procedures laid down under the Income Tax Act and take necessary action as permitted by law. So this is a process which in fact we start much earlier, because if there is any kind of a large scale funding, large scale movement of money which is taking place, it takes place several weeks if not several months in advance. So we have been alert to that and we have been identifying those vulnerable areas and taking action as and when required. Once the Honorable Commission visited Telangana and had an interaction with us, and we got a clear mandate and instruction on what is expected of us in the next 1.5 months, we have put in place the systems as was briefed to you. A copy of that presentation will also be made available to all of you so that you can remember all the details and relevant facts. We'll make that copy available through PIB, and also at the end of the meet today, we will be giving a small brief so that it's an aid memoir for you. Those basic facts are given there. Now, just to clarify, it's a two-level process during the course of election expenditure monitoring. One layer of that is what is done by the state authorities. They are so-called men on the boots on the road. So these are the people, the state authorities under the mandate of the Chief Electoral Officer and ECI. They are manning checkposts, which are the static surveillance teams. You might have, those of you who have been traveling around might have seen that there is surveillance which is static. There are barriers you have to cross. They do random checking of vehicles. There are flying squads which are in place, which essentially do the same thing, but they are mobile, so they move from one place to another. The moment there is any kind of an interception of cash, interception of say bullion or any other valuable, including what is suspected to be freebies, they intimate. The app that is shown here is meant for that. The intercepting team uploads the incident report on that, and then the part of the cohort, for example, for cash bullion, the report comes to us and we respond through our quick response team. And similarly, if it is narcotics, if it is alcohol, it goes to the respective agency or enforcement department. Once that takes place, our response is to go to the site and we interrogate the person or persons who are carrying that cash or valuable. We then evaluate whether or not this cash is legitimate cash or it is probably part of some undisclosed flow of funds. When that happens, we have provisions under the Income Tax Act and we can make a seizure of that and then proceed as per our laws. So the two parallel activities is, as far as the larger amount of cash on the streets, which is 10 lakhs and above, Income Tax Department gets involved, and it is mandatory on part of the state authorities, including the DOs, the district electoral officers, to intimate to our nodal officer, and we respond. So across the 33 districts, we have units in place, and our response time estimated is less than 30 minutes. More often, it is about 20 to 25 minutes. We are on the spot. The same applies to the private aircraft and helicopters, which would be landing outside the airports, where we have our own air intelligence unit in place. So where air intelligence is in place, like in Shamshabad, we have a permanent team stationed there, but during elections, there can be private aircraft which may land on smaller airstrips or helicopters which may land there. And the DEOs have the responsibility to first do the checking of the aircraft and then intimate our district officers, who will in turn intimate to the nodal officer, who will take a call on what the response should be. So this two-layer process that is going on, as on date, if you are interested in any kind of figures, the figures that we have got till, is it yesterday? Up till yesterday, from the district authorities through their static and flying squad teams, cash interception, and let's be clear that cash interceptions which come out in the media often, they are not all necessarily unaccounted cash. They are genuine, trade movement, commercial, banks are moving their ATM deposits, etc. So the cash intercepted as of yesterday by authorities was about 53.93 crores. And as against that cash, as on date, our seizure has been 1.76 crores has been found to be undisclosed cash. However, like I said, Income Tax Department is making use of big data analysis. We are making use of our own internal digital intelligence. We are in touch with banks and other relevant agencies. So we are profiling bank accounts where we are seeing suspicious trend in movement of cash. So for example, there can be sudden spike in deposit of any kind of an amount, and then immediately there is a withdrawal. Now that triggers, for example, if we take, let's say, a petrol pump whose average earning per day is, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. Suddenly we see that this petrol pump during a period of 10 days to 15 days, it is now showing a turnover of 50 lakhs, 80 lakhs. Now that triggers our suspicion, and then we look at what is happening to that money. And if there is a similar kind of a withdrawal, that means suddenly for 10 days, huge amount of cash is coming in, and then it is being withdrawn, that triggers our suspicion. It's a very simple example. Finance, the world of finance is very complicated, and we are looking at many entities, not just small businesses. So we are monitoring that, and as and when required, we are doing the operation where the investigation report which will reveal as to what happened to that flow of fund and whether or not it was used to vitiate the process of free and fair election. There is another thing that we are supposed to do, that when the nominations are filed, the affidavits which the candidates file before the Election Commission, those affidavits immediately come to us, and in verifying the details of assets, details of income, which are given by the candidates, we have the assistance of other agencies such as the banks, such as the Financial Intelligence Unit. We coordinate, and then that data is examined against our own database. If there is any kind of a suspicion or mismatch or anything, we are going to report it to the Election Commission. During the course of the campaign and during the course of the process of election, the things that we are supposed to do, we have already shared. Once the election is over, our work does not end there. Now the verification of all the candidates continues, and we are supposed to submit all the reports to the Election Commission within 6 months' time. If any discrepancy is found, that is duly acted upon. And at the same time, we have to keep ourselves alert to any kind of intelligence which may come from any source, because in the course of election, there are so many stakeholders, for which purpose we have got the control room, and through you, I would request you to promote the control room number, which we are going to give you in the press brief today. Please promote it, please sensitize as many people. We are all trying to do the same job. We are all trying to comply with the vision of Honorable Election Commission of India to ensure free and fair elections. It is good for the nation, it is good for the citizens, and this control room number should be used to inform to us any kind of suspicious trend, activity or event over which we have mandate, which is obviously we are not the agency to do narcotics, but any kind of movement of money, of bullion, please intimate to us. This is an appeal to all the stakeholders in the process of election. Finally, through our own resources, over and above that 1.76 crores, from the time the process of election expenditure monitoring has started, Income Tax Department has independently, based on its own intelligence, seized 14.8 crores of cash, which is not through the state authorities but our own intelligence. In the state of Telangana, 14.8 crores has been seized as on date. We are constantly on the vigil, we are constantly alert, and we are totally committed to the cause of the Election Commission of India. And we hope that in future you will see that Income Tax Department is acting as a force multiplier for the state authorities in controlling undue flow of funds to influence election. And we will do our best to ensure free and fair election, devoid of any use of untoward use of money power in the process. Thank you. In case there are any questions. Right.
Of it is undisclosed.
Right.
This is one part of it. And second side, you say 14.8 crore through your own intelligence.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
So what
The discrepancy.
What
Okay.
difference is,
So-
is
so-
one thing.
Right.
Second thing is, out of this 53.93, 1.76 crore you said. The remaining 51 crore. Where is it?
Right.
As of now.
So I'll just clarify once again. The process is, as I said, the state authorities, they intercept. On the streets, it is the state police which intercepts. They intimate. So if the cash is intimated to us, we respond by sending our quick response team, and then we do the interrogation of the carrier, the person who is carrying that amount, and then we decide whether or not, for example, there can be a person who has now made sales of some retail items and it is the cash amount. For example, there is a builder whose labor wages are going in a vehicle. Now, when the state authorities, they intercept and intimate to us, we go and make the inquiry because we understand what is disclosed, what is not disclosed. If somebody has withdrawn cash from bank, let us say has withdrawn 15 lakh rupees to make a cash payment to the labor working in the construction site, and they show it to us that we have withdrawn, we had 15 lakhs in our cash book. When we see that, we do not seize it. It is where the person is unable to explain the cash, where from the cash has come. Under income tax law, we can only seize that. If a jeweler, for example, is taking money from his head office shop or taking jewelry from one branch to another, and it has all the kind of documentation, when the interception takes place, we go there, they show that we have taken this much of gold or gold jewelry from our branch A, and we are in the process of moving it to branch B for retail sale. Then when we go there, we examine the books, we examine the stock, and then depending on whether or not it was reflected in the stock, we make the seizure. So that is how the interception that I was talking about is by the state authorities. 53.93 crores was stopped on the roads by the state authority. Then we respond. Out of that amount, what we have found as undisclosed, 10.99 crores were released. The balance 1.76 was what was found to be unaccounted or undisclosed. What I am talking about, 14.8 crores, it was not intercepted on the streets, on the roads by either flying squad or the static team. It was our own intelligence based on which certain search and seizure operation was conducted, and that cash has then been seized by the income tax department. So these are the two different kind of activities which are taking place. Therefore, these two numbers will always differ. The state authorities are not really equipped to understand, for example, if it is bank cash which is moving. Now, although the documentation is available with the state authorities, but the static teams or the intercepting flying squad may not have the wherewithal to immediately connect with the banks, concerned banks, and get the documentation. So that work is also often done by our nodal officer. So there will be always a difference between what the state authorities intercept. Interception is not seizure. Interception is an interception. After interception, state authorities can also do seizure, but not under Income Tax Act. That is in case where suppose they have the exact information that this money was being used for some some activity or to influence elections. But we don't have, that does not come under the bracket of tax evasion or undisclosed income. So that's a different activity that they do, but broadly this is how interception takes place, and this is why there is always a discrepancy between the amount which is shown as interception and what we finally seize as undisclosed.
Now, even after you said 10.99 crore was released, there's still 40 crore.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I'll just answer that query. So as sir told, 53.93 crores has been informed by the police authorities to the income tax department, out of which 11 crores around 10.99 already has been released and 1.76 has been seized by the income tax department, and remaining amount is the inquiry is in progress. Verification is in progress. So in a day or two that will be also completed and decision will be taken.
This is an ongoing, it's a 24/7 process. So every hour the figures keep changing, and our numbers available with us for interrogation, that goes up. Then as we clear a case, the numbers will go down.
That's correct.
as soon as the election dates are announced, and you people have started details, there's a kind of weird psychosis because small amounts of 50,000 they are being seized, and they have to go around the police authorities to prove themselves into original money. So the 50,000 is a very small amount in these times of betting. It's very small amount, and that is one concern. The other concern is this is the time of the year when parents are sending their kids to US or higher studies. They have to show huge amounts, 30 to 50 lakhs or 60 lakhs in the bank account. First to the college to prove that they can raise so much money. They have to keep the money just for one day, take the bank statement, and they will, they pull up 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs from hand loans, and they build up so much amount. They take the statement and they will. And also at the time of visa also same thing happens. Visa authorities, they expect us to keep some money. So what is happening is the moment pulling up and then withdrawing, they are getting phone calls from the bank saying that no, we have to inform income tax. This is standing them in a TV. They are worried what will happen to their sons, daughters, parents. So why don't you make a firm, emphatic announcement that students or parents are the money being mobilized for certain kind of activities will not be under the radar.
Right. So there are two aspects to what you asked. The first one dealt with petty cash, 20,000, 50,000, 60,000. Like I said, the expenditure monitoring is happening at two levels. One is the state authorities. As far as income tax is concerned, they are supposed to intimate at us only if the amount is above 10 lakhs. So the movement on the roads, only if it is above 10 lakhs, it is intimated to us, and then we examine it. We do the proper investigation, we check it with the banks, with the books of accounts, and then, like I said, where it is found to be genuine money, it is released. So the amount which is below 10 lakhs, essentially that part of the concern of the public has to be addressed by the state authorities. That is not income tax. Then you come to the other thing. So now, when any kind of money comes into a bank and then it is suddenly withdrawn. Now this is as per Election Commission guidelines, which applies to the bank. If there is such a pattern that there is somebody who has, let's say, a salary income of 1 lakh, and suddenly 50 lakh, 40 lakh rupees come into the bank from various sources. Now that particular, in any case, that is not only related to election process. There is a system where Financial Intelligence Unit of India, they get reporting from the banks, and that results in something called the Suspicious Transactions Report. It's a constant system that is going on. So whenever that happens, that a person who's earning a salary of 1 lakh rupees suddenly gets within a period of 2 weeks or something, when he's mobilizing those loans, 3 lakh, 5 lakh from various friends, relatives, it may be coming in, and then that payment is returned after some time. Now this is a suspicious transaction which, as per the guidelines and algorithm of the Financial Intelligence Unit, they will decide, and if it is a trigger, then it comes to Income Tax Department at a later date. During election process, this entire feedback, mutual feedback, is very fast. So the bank also directly intimates if there is some such unusual transaction in any bank account. This is something they are supposed to be doing under the Election Commission guideline. However, like I said, when it comes to our department, we do the investigation, and as long as the money is genuinely, it could be taken from a relative, it could be taken from a friend only for the purpose of showing it as bank balance for getting a visa or something, then income tax authorities do not interfere because it is all explained money. However, if it so happens that somebody is now putting 50 lakh of cash for which, when we inquire, has no explanation, then whether elections are going on or no, otherwise, then income tax will operate. So that one of the things which we are hoping that, through you, these kind of misconceptions also should go away. Actually, government machinery is not there to harass a common person. It is there for putting an end to some bad practices. So we are all sensitized to that, and it's also part of our routine job. We look at STRs every day. We don't, out of 1,000 STRs, maybe we act upon maybe 5. So, yes. First of all, as was explained to you by our nodal officers, for the last 10 days, our each district, each of the 33 districts now has a small intelligence unit, which is at every district level. That is how we are able to respond within 30 minutes to any alert that comes from the state authorities who are doing the interception on the roads. As far as the figures are concerned, like I said, that the interception that takes place, that interception is shared with us, and then we examine, and then we decide whether or not it is disclosed income. In terms of whether or not it is for a political funding, that is something which when we send the reports to Election Commission as well as the state CEO, they are the right people who will decide that this money was being used for political funding. The thing is, when money is flowing, first job is to stop that flow. And then stop the flow and then find out whether it was crime, whether it was for business purpose, whether it was for political. And sometimes, money is so complicated that my money can become money of theft if a pickpocket steals my pocket. So in my pocket it is clean money. In his pocket the same money becomes dirty money. So in the world of finance it's very fluid. Our job is to raise the red flag that this money appears to be unaccounted. We will tell you who was carrying it, we will tell you from where we suspect the money comes, but the job to finally decide whether or not it was political is not the job of Income Tax Department. We send our comprehensive reports. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Right. I'm afraid we cannot give you case details, especially because it is not connected to the interceptions, which is in the public domain. Income tax matters are very complicated. We are bound by a lot of rules regarding the confidentiality of those details, and it is under investigation. What we can say is it has been seized, and it takes time to finish our reports, and then the proceedings are all confidential. Sorry. See, we can tell you the figures which have been conveyed to us. There are a lot of seizures. For example, somebody is carrying small amounts. We have had in the past, not now, but in my own experience, we have had a situation where an entire bus which was going to a trading town was returning with people who had sold small items, and the interception team did not realize, but in the bus the total amount being carried was some 50 lakhs or something. Now that that information, for them it is a interception amount, But obviously for income tax purpose, we are not interested in someone who's gone and sold some clothes, plastic mugs, and is returning home with 30,000 rupees or something.
Sir, latest question to you is that then so much of activation is happening that elections, a lot of funding happening, but we found out only 1.7 crore unaccounted cash. That too, we don't know whether it's
The amount which has been seized by income tax department, that amount is supposed to be designating or denoting undisclosed income. Now there is a process involved where election commission as well as the state CEO, they will triangulate that information based on whatever details our interrogation or investigation reports give. So the verdict on what it is it political, was it being used for political, that is their domain. We can say that this is not coming out of white money, this is black money which is going, we can tell you that.
how much unaccounted money is during 2018 general election and other valuable items connected?
2019 general election or 18 state election? Do you have the figure? Income tax department made a seizure of around 20 crores in 2018 assembly elections. Yes.
Political parties are hiring these helicopters and other state transport. So are you going to increase any intelligence in the coming days?
So, like I just informed, we have 2 airports in Telangana. Both of them are in Hyderabad. As far as these small charter planes or helicopters, the Bureau of Civil Aviation has already been alerted by Election Commission of India. Wherever a flight is booked, whether helicopter or a small plane which is booked for a non-scheduled airport, BCA is supposed to pass on that information to the DO concerned. So if it is landing in the district of Khammam, the information from BCA goes to Khammam, and the DO is supposed to intimate our district team, and we will be there in readiness. And as soon as the aircraft lands, the DO is supposed to take action as given in the SOP by Election Commission. Once they take that action, then we will proceed according to our laws. We will do our own investigation and question if any cash is found. Yes. Sorry, any mismatch? We don't have the figures. We don't have that figure right now. Sorry?
As of now, we don't have any information. We are just waiting.
What is the total number of personnel deployed for this?
From income tax.
From income tax, 250 odd, out of which we have about 100 people who have been taken on temporary deputment from the Principal Chief Commissioner of AP and Telangana. The rest our own officers and officials from Investigation Directorate.
Any other questions?
Great.
Thank
That's
you
it.
so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming once again.